Well, hello there. How's everybody doing? Well, sorry for this late video. It's Monday afternoon. Finally getting around to getting things done. So I'll give you a couple updates real quick before we jump into week 5. First of all, Tori's surgery went really well, my girlfriend. So she's doing as well as can be expected after surgery. So I want to send a thank you to, in addition to the emails responses that I sent back to all of you, and just thank you for your kind words and thoughts during this weekend, and to everybody for your patience during this last couple of days. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So with that being said, the wikiHow assignment, I will hopefully start looking at those later today and into tomorrow. So here will be the kind of standard operating procedure. I will look at them and review them, and unless there is something catastrophic or area of concern or something like that that I feel that I need to address, and I will send you a message with your grade. If I remember correctly, this is worth 25 points. So if you submitted a link and you've got at least a good chunk of steps up there, and I see that you put the effort into it and stuff like that, and receive the 25 points, and then with that I will respond with some feedback if necessary. Otherwise, because we're still in the user test, we've got the bulk of the instructions down, and now we'll be kind of slowly working on maybe adding, when we actually do the user test, might be a good opportunity perhaps to add some get the pictures. Then the following week, after you've done the user test, when you're actually going to then start to revise your final instructions, that's when you kind of really think about adding graphics, and you want to at least have a picture per step. Okay? So that's kind of the wikiHow update. I'm going to start looking at them, grading them over the next day or so, and so I'll provide feedback along with the points. So I'm talking about grading. I think I have most of the resumes and cover letters done. I think I have maybe about 4 or 5 left to do that I just received some more information on, so I'm trying to get those caught up too over the next day or so. So things are move quickly in this class, of course. So things going, I think, pretty well. Everyone out there in YouTube land, or whatever this is called, video land, you guys do an amazing job, and I really appreciate it. All right, so let's move on to talk about week 5 as we sally forth here. So I'll go back down into here to my corner. All right, so here's week 5, and course materials again. Here's our overview. So this week is all about user testing, thinking about how we're going to design the user test, what kind of things, what kind of materials do we need, in thinking about being the designer, right, of these instructions, as well as the authors of these instructions, of what do we need to do to improve upon them in the coming weeks, right? Because this week is about user testing. So post number 4 for Wednesday, then we'll start off with a user test design. And so I will encourage you to think about reading into chapter 18 of Anderson, and think about the things that you'd want to think about when it comes to a user test. And then obviously you want to look on usability.gov. So let's swing over to usability.gov. When you hit that link, it brings up here. And there are a couple of different boxes here that you can think about. Basics of user experience. I highly recommend that you read. Those are, it's an important, get the basics down. At least start there. Understand that page. It's not, I don't think it's a all that long of a page right here. The things that you would want to kind of think about, okay? This chart right here would be beneficial to have an idea of useful, usable, valuable, desirable, findable, credible, and accessible. Okay, so so let's so you read chapter 18, look over a little bit over usability.gov, especially some of those sections I just highlighted, and then you'll have blog post number 4, which is your user test design. And so let's bring up the blog post for prompt. All right, so it says describe the design of your user test. So the design basically means what it is that you are going to do, right? What will you do, and how will you learn from what you just observed? And that's really kind of basically, that's what that question is basically asking. And then I want you to describe how it responds to the purpose of your document, and then the audience that is likely to use your instructions, right? So your purpose of your document for your what's going to be your user test, right? The purpose of that is to find out about your what it is that someone is going to read and do, right? Perform the steps, you follow your instructions, and then the purpose of that document then is to then how are you going to observe, right? The purpose of this blog post, if you will, is to kind of understand how you're going to observe. Are you going to have perhaps an observer checklist? You have an observer sheet, something that you're going to kind of use to inform you what you need to then go back and revise. How are you going to make the most of this experience, right? And then so the design becomes important, the purpose, and then the audience that's likely to use your instructions. So we're kind of really kind of thinking about your instructions in a more of a global sense, if that makes any sense. All right, so that is blog post 4, your user test design. So let's go back over to this week and kind of recap or finish our overview. So Wednesday, you want to have your user test design, and that's a blog post, so you put it right to your blog. Friday will be the reading quiz, and I'll have a video coming out soon over the reading quiz, so I've got some things for you there. And then Sunday is your user test memo, and again, I will put out another video that addresses the user test memo specifically. So really spend some good time understanding Chapter 18 and a couple of those sections in usability.gov, especially the basics, right? Understand that. And then the next video I'll talk more about Chapter 8 and the reading quiz. And here's all the things you need in Chapter 5, in Week 5 of our course materials folder. So, as always, please, okay, see if we can get this thing to, here we go. As always, please do not hesitate to reach out to me and let me know if there's more that I can do for you. If you have any further questions or you have any issues or whatever, just let me know. And I'll be back in touch with further videos on the reading quiz as well as the user test memo. All right, so you guys have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you.